Uh, oh, I accidentally erased some things that shouldn't have been erased, and I just noticed it as I started recording. Uh, if you remember from our section on standing waves, we briefly went over the fact that y of x of t is equal to 2a sine of kx times omega cosine of omega t, which means that uh the waves that are sent through that can be if two waves intersect where one is going one way and the other is going the other, and they both have equal magnitude, then y of x of t is just going to be some standing uh, sine of kx times cosine omega t. So it just goes up and down, but stays the same in x. So we talked about what happened when you had a guitar string or a piano string where both sides were closed, and there had to be some multiple of the wavelengths in between uh, the two sides because of the boundary conditions that the wave had to be equal to had to be having a node or a 0 point at both ends of the material because those were pinned down. So it had to be some half wavelength. It had to be some length that was half the wavelength of whatever you were looking at. So those were the uh, wavelengths which were allowed to exist. In this case, we have something more like a flute, where one wavelength is cut off and forced to be uh, equal to 0 at one end, while the other end is open, which has a lot of room for the wavelength to the wave to propagate, which means that it is going to have an antinode or like one of these high points at the other end. So one of these, when you have a pipe that's closed on one end, one of them is going the side that is enclosed is going to have a node at the end of it because it has so little room to vibrate back and forth, while the side that is open has a lot of room to vibrate back and forth and is therefore going to be uh, yeah, is therefore going to be open and an antinode. So if this happens, then you have to have some way some combinations of wavelengths where it's 1/4 or 3/4 or 5/4, but 1/4 or 3/4 or 5/4, yeah, that makes sense. Where the when you count the wavelengths, you have to have a half a full length or zero full wavelengths, and then an extra quarter of a wavelength, so that's open at both sides. Whereas if you have open on both ends, both sides have to be antinodes, which gives us that lambda n equals L over n plus 1/2, where it has to be some combination like this, or it has to follow that formula in order to uh, 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 in order to successfully resonate in one of these pipes or open on both ends. So this is given by lambda n equals n plus 1 L plus over n plus 1/2, and then n plus 1/2 times V over L. is going to give you the frequencies which are allowed. Okay. Hope that's all good and clear for you.